Welcome, everyone, to Harvest's newest podcast, Tina Talks. I am your host, Christina Brooks, and today I am talking with Salah because she is positive and encouraging. So I
Just
don't know.
like Caleb.
Yes, just like Caleb. So I've been, I don't know, saying your name to that tune for years now.
Yeah,
So,
for a long time. Yeah.
and if you're confused, I am Tina in Tina Talks. A lot of people know me by Christina. If you know me before I got married, you probably know me by Tina, but afterwards, you probably know me by Christina, but I am the same person.
Yeah.
Just a little fun fact there. And then before we get started today, so Sayla's going to be basically interviewing me, and I'm going to be sharing my story, which I feel like I've done a lot at Harvest. So a lot of you may already know it, and you can maybe just skip to the end for a little bit of encouragement. Um, but normally I will be interviewing someone else from the church and talking to them. So, and I want to give you credit because you put this whole thing together. This is all Sayla's idea. Like, my name's in the title and my face is on the screen, but this was Sayla's idea to bring women together at Harvest and learn each other's stories and get to know each other and encourage one another. This is a great way to do that. So that's the goal. Good job. I'm
Thanks.
excited.
Me too. I'm so
So,
excited.
do you want to say anything else before we jump in?
I don't think so.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see where this podcast goes and all the future ones. And
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
It's going to be good, hopefully.
Yeah. No, I think it will be good because you're hosting it.
All right, we'll see. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
All right, where do you want to start?
Let's start at the beginning. So tell me about your upbringing and childhood and stuff.
My upbringing. So I grew up in the same house my whole life, in Arnold, PA, which is a half an hour south of here, down 28. A lot of people might know my parents, Ray and Stephanie Police. They were harvesters for a while until little Fred. Do people still call him Little Fred?
Yeah,
He
I think
started
so.
the Redemption Church plant, and they went with him because that was right in their backyard. Um, so yeah, they were both born Catholic. And I think around the time I came around, they were mostly transitioned out of the Catholic Church. I think I was baptized in the Catholic Church, um, but I was pretty much raised in the Baptist Church. And I had a good upbringing. I mean, my parents were awesome. They have always been serving in their church in so many ways. They raised us in the church. We went to all the church events and activities.
Mm-hmm.
They worked hard to send us to Christian school, which I really appreciated. Not until later in life, but I do appreciate it now. We did family vacations. I have
So
an
when you
older
say we, you have siblings?
Yes, older brother, younger sister. There's like 3 to 4 years, between the 3 of us,
Okay.
but I'm the middle child, so I have middle child syndrome. It's a thing. Um, but yeah, it was a good upbringing, and they taught me the Bible. My mom would read me the little children's Bible, and I really liked the Genesis story, Adam and Eve.
Hmm.
And I remember my dad and I one time, he had me memorize Isaiah 53, which I can still remember like the first 8 or 9
Yeah.
verses, which I'm not going to do right now because I'll probably mess it up.
That's crazy because I had to learn it in, I think, 5th grade in Sunday school.
Oh, yeah?
And your dad was the teacher during first
Oh
service, but I
my
went to
gosh.
second service. So I had John Thomas, but both
Okay.
classes were working on memorizing
See, that's
Isaiah
awesome.
53. That's
Good job,
crazy. I
Dad.
didn't know
That's
that.
great.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's memorize scripture when you're young because it's a lot harder when you're older.
Yeah.
But so overall, I had a great childhood. It was a good upbringing. Spiritually, though, my spiritual condition was not good. Um, I was a very miserable child. I gave my parents a really hard time. I was very angry at the world from a very young age. I mean, like, little kid.
Mm.
Just very sad, very miserable kid. And I knew something was wrong with me. I knew something was off and something wasn't right. And my earliest memories of praying to God, I mean, I would be crying in my room as a little kid and praying to God, I know you exist. I don't doubt that. I believe you're there. Why do I feel this way? Like, why am I so messed up? Why doesn't it feel like you're helping me get out of this? Like, what am I missing? I know all about you. I've heard all the stories. But why doesn't it feel like I have a solid relationship with you? Why is it so dark in my soul? I mean, I was asking that question as a really little kid.
Mhm. Wow.
So,
How old were you, do you think, maybe?
I don't know. Earliest memory. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
But really little.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably my kids' ages.
Mhm.
So, that's pretty much sums up my childhood.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah.
And then what about in, like, high school? A lot of stuff changes for people when they get in high
Yes,
school.
it does. My teen years. So when I was 12 or 13, I found something to make me happy,
Mhm.
and that was the good old ganja. Just pot, reefer, Mary Jane, bud, weed, marijuana. I started smoking pot, and
You said you were 12 or
I
13?
was young.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, at a Christian
Wow.
school.
Oh my gosh. That's
Don't
crazy.
assume. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Check in
don't
on your
assume that just because your
kids.
kids go to a
Uh
Christian
huh.
school that
Yeah,
they're protected from
they're little
everything.
heathens there too. So I guess if I could summarize my teen years, I kind of had like a foot in with my Christian friends.
Mhm.
Like I said, I went to church, I went to Christian school, and I hung out with Christians, and I went on mission trips, and I was a part of the worship team, and I had a foot in there, but then I had a foot in with my pothead friends, and
Mhm.
I thought it was really fun and enjoyable, and I actually felt happier than normal, which I do not advocate for smoking weed. I think it's a terrible idea. Don't do it. Doesn't actually make you happy in the long run. Um, but I was just kind of back and forth, and actually, I was a teenager when I started at Harvest because I went to Evangel Heights and a lot of those kids came here. And when I first came, I think we all have this moment when we
Mhm.
first see Pastor Mike on the stage. It's like, who is that creature preaching? Like,
Yeah.
but I was just so drawn by the fact that he was just genuinely himself. And I was like, that guy has a real relationship with God. The one that I was desiring, I was like, he knows God. He knows God's love. How did he get that? And I
Mhm.
was really intrigued by that, and I kept coming back, and I kept bringing other people too.
Mhm.
I dragged my parents from their church to here, and I do have one other story that I remember of a woman here who I don't know who she was, to this day. I met her the one time, but she was literally so joyful. She had the joy of the Lord in her. You could, like, see it on her face. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just, like,
Mhm.
radiant for Jesus and, like, just loving, and everyone around her, like, wanted to be near her. They were just, like, drawn to
Aw.
her. And I remember looking at her and
Mhm.
thinking, I will never, ever have that. Like, I will never have the true, deep joy that she has. That's not in me. There's just darkness in here. And I
Mm.
just was so amazed by that. I was like, I want that. And people here had it. And I was like, man,
It's funny that you mentioned that because one of the first memories I have of you, which is we never talked or anything like that, but I remember noticing you.
really?
Yeah. And how you were worshiping. I think it was like the
So in a
last.
good light. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, noticing was
I remember
I.
you had a stroller, so it was probably
Okay.
when Jack was really little.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I think it was at like a closing VBS thing here.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, I remember noticing the
Aw.
radiant stuff that you're talking about seeing in someone else. I remember noticing that in you. And it wasn't until
That's cool.
years later that we ever actually like officially met.
Yeah.
But you were somebody that like I noticed even though I didn't know you.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with you, Sayla. Your positive and encouraging self. I mean, that's just a work of the Holy Spirit. It's a testament to who he is because
Right.
it was pure pitch black darkness before he came into
Mhm.
my life. So that's awesome. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those were my teen years. Started coming
So,
here.
did you go to
I
college?
did.
Okay.
Um, Ended up
Where
at a
did you
Baptist school in South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you studying?
I didn't know what I wanted to do, but everyone said I was good at writing. So I landed on being an English major. And then people told me we can't just be an English major because you won't get a job. So
Mm.
I decided to be an English teacher. I had no idea that I had an interest in teaching when I made that decision,
Which
but
is crazy
I
knowing you
know
now.
and I love to teach,
Yeah.
so it was wild. But yeah, secondary education English um, is what my degree is in,
Okay.
and I didn't like the school. Again, it was a Southern Baptist school. It felt a little legalistic, like the church I grew up in.
Mhm.
Um, but I figured I was paying for the education, and I really enjoyed my teachers and my classes. But at the same time, my college years took a very dark turn. When I got down there, I pretty quickly started using heavier drugs
Mhm.
right away. And I decided to just claim to the world that I was an agnostic, which meant to me at the time that I still believed there was a God. I just wasn't going to claim that I knew who he was. And if he was the God of the Bible, I wasn't sure. And so pretty quickly, you can imagine, life got worse.
Mhm.
Um, the miserable spirit that I was talking about that I had as a child, and just the hate towards other humans that I had, everything started growing exponentially when I decided to completely turn my back on God and dive into this world of drugs, which if anyone, I'm sure most people know of someone who's been on heavy drugs. Like it's messy and ugly and really, really dark.
Yeah.
Um, and it got pretty hopeless pretty quickly. I really didn't care if I lived or died. Um, and I wasn't much of a partier either. I kept to myself. I pretty much lived in my car and did drugs, and I studied and I wrote papers because I was really interested in finding the truth. I really
Mhm.
wanted to know what was true, and I wanted to know God. I felt. I also enjoyed doing drugs and wanted to sin, but there was a part of me that was so curious about the truth, and I just felt like I didn't understand it yet.
Yeah.
So I was searching, but in all the wrong places. Very new agey. Um, I was really into like the transcendentalist. Do you know what
Mm-mm.
transcendentalism is?
No.
It's like a philosophical literary movement of the 19th century. Ralph Waldo Emerson, Thoreau. Have you ever heard of these names? No.
Nope.
Okay, I'm such a nerd. Um, it was kind of new agey because it was like they believed in the spiritual, but it was in nature and in everything, kind of a part of us, and there
Okay.
wasn't, specific name for God.
Okay. But just like super spiritual stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're doing all of that during college.
Mhm.
So you graduated
I did graduate.
college?
I made it through
Well, okay.
miraculously. But before getting there to graduation, it was my 20th birthday, I believe, that I decided to just not even call my best friend who I used to do drugs with. I was like, I'm just taking all the money that I have and I'm just going to buy a bunch of drugs and just do them by myself. That's going to be the best birthday ever, which is a very lonely place to be.
Mm,
And so after this night of binging, I got back to the place I was living and I looked in the mirror and it was just like instant wake up call.
mm.
I was terrified for the first time in a while. I was really scared. I saw myself and I was like, how did you get here? Like, who are you? I
Yeah.
looked really terrible, as you would after a couple years of heavy drug use, you can imagine. Um, but also, just that darkness in me was so evident in the way I'd been treating people. I feel like now's a good time to put out a public apology. If you knew me before college, and we haven't talked since, um,
You're a new creation now.
I was a terrible human to so many people. But yeah, I just saw that darkness and I was pretty terrified. So went into my house that night and I was like, something's got to change. I got to quit doing these drugs. I got to get my life together. I need to get back to God. Like I need to figure something out. So that actually started me on a journey for the next 9 months, about give or take, of really trying to clean myself up. And that was awful because I
Mm,
couldn't do it. I would go to meetings and then I'd leave the meetings and go get high. I would try and insert myself into these Christian groups, and I think people were kind of not intimidated by me, but just they didn't trust me, and
yeah.
I just had a bad reputation at that point, and I really wanted to be good enough to be accepted by the church, by the other Christians, and ultimately by God. I thought if I can just stop doing drugs, just clean myself up, this isn't who I really am. If I can just fix this, then God will accept me. Then these other Christians will accept me, and I'll finally have a relationship with him that I've wanted. And that was tough because it wasn't working. So whereas before I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted, now there was a massive weight of guilt every time I failed. It was like, okay, clearly you're not, you know, cut
Yeah.
out for this Christian life. You can't do it. You are an ultimate failure. And so that was heavy,
Mhm.
heavy for months. I tried.
For about 9 months,
Mm.
you were trying. Um, what about after the 9 months? Because that was specific.
Yeah.
So after that, what
There
happened?
was a moment. There was a true conversion moment. I call it the Saul to Paul on the road to Damascus moment in my life because I was just at the point of giving up. I was ready to I basically lived in my car during college anyways. I was ready to pack it up, not tell my family or friends what I was doing, and just hit the road and live like a gypsy or something. Romanticized it in my head, but I was just gonna go surrender to the life of drugs, and wherever that took me, I was done trying. And this one November night, I was walking campus, and which is a funny story too. I smoked cigarettes, and you weren't allowed to smoke cigarettes at this Southern Baptist University.
Right.
And so I knew all the spots to go to kinda hide and smoke my cigarettes. And so that's what I was doing, just walking campus, and, but I did get caught once, and they told me I was the first female to ever get caught smoking cigarettes on campus, and I was, like, kinda proud of it at the
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, yeah?
Wow.
My name will go down in the books here." No.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
Um, what's funny is I was actually smoking a blunt and threw it out the window before the campus police rolled up on me and then lit a cigarette, so I would only get in trouble for the cigarette.
Oh, hey.
So, fun fact about your new women's ministry director. Um, but yeah, I was walking campus and I walked to this building that I knew was always locked. And I'm talking to God. I'm praying. I'm searching for him still. And I could tell so many stories too, just about how he really was calling me in that season. And it was so evident
Yeah,
looking
you
back,
should
like,
share one. We have
oh
time.
man, there it's a little bizarre, but there was one night I was downtown looking for trouble, and I came across a group of Christians from the school that I kind of knew, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing, nothing at all." And so they were on their way on a Friday night. They were going to church. So we're not the only ones who have been doing Friday night
Okay,
services. There was
okay.
a downtown Greenville. There was a church meeting, a church service on a Friday night, and I thought that was weird. But they invited me to it, and I was like, "Okay, let's go." So I went, and I don't remember anything about the church service, but I looked down at the end of the service, and there were two very dark, perfect circular bruises on my wrists.
Mm.
And I just made a comment. This lady, this girl, I didn't even really know her, was sitting next to me, and I was like, "That's weird." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, I didn't notice these bruises. I wonder what they're from." And then I think it was a little more of a charismatic church, but
Mhm.
man, those charismatics will get you saved. Like they really will. So she was like, can we go outside and pray for you?" And I was like, I guess. Now I grew up Baptist, so I'm not like super familiar with any of this, but they went outside with me and they got in a circle and laid hands on me and they started praying for me and she started praying for me specifically and was saying things that like people didn't know. She sure shouldn't have known. And I didn't know what to make of it at the time. I was just like, this is weird.
Mhm.
I'm confused, but this is interesting. Like,
Yeah.
is this you, Lord? Like, what's going on here? And I left. I was like, thank you. And like walked
Mhm.
across the street and got in my car. And when I looked down, the bruises were gone.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I don't know for sure what any of that was, but there were things that happened, like prayers. I would pray a prayer and it would be instantly answered, like, God, send me someone right now to speak to me. And someone would walk up and say, Hey, I heard you need someone to talk to, or I felt like the Lord was telling me to come talk to you. And just stuff like that would happen all the
Wow.
time.
That's so
And it
cool.
was wild. It was really wild. But I still wasn't clicking for me. Like, I
Mhm.
still wasn't getting it. And so this night, when walk into this building, back to this night in November, I walked up the steps, down the hall to the last classroom on the right. There was a group of students there who were watching a video, probably on a projector or something. I can't really remember the details. These years are very fuzzy in my memory, too. Um, but it was some type of missionary video because it was like set in a jungle somewhere and people
Okay.
were giving their testimonies of these missionaries who came in and they were giving the villagers there were giving their lives to Christ and just totally they were being transformed by the power of the Holy Spirit. And they must have shared the gospel because the next thing I know, I'm running out of the room and running around the corner of the hallway, and I just, like, collapse onto the floor, and I start weeping. Like, I've only wept like that twice in my life. One was because something really awful was happening, and this time, I'm just weeping, which was super weird too because I cry all the time now. My kids make fun of me. They, like, look at me when I'm crying, they're like, "Are these happy tears? Are you good?" But
Aw.
back then, like, never cried about anything. I was
Yeah.
just very standoffish and nothing can touch me and I'm unemotional and, I just had this, you know,
Yeah.
hard attitude about me. But I just started weeping on the floor. And this girl comes out and she's kind of getting down on the floor with me and trying to comfort me. And I remember thinking, like, I have to explain to her. I don't even know her that well. Like, I have to tell her I'm okay or, like, give her an explanation.
Yeah.
This is weird. Why are you weeping on the ground? Like, I need to tell her what's going on in my brain right now. And the only thing I could say over and over through my sobbing tears was, "He loves me." Like,
Mhm.
he loves me. And I don't know why that night, in that moment, watching that random video with a random group of students, but all of a sudden, Romans 5:8 just became reality to me. Like, I just saw it. It was like, I think it's Romans 5:8. But God demonstrated his love for us, and that while we are still sinners, Christ died for us.
Mhm.
And I realized, clear as day, that God the Father loved me so much, and I didn't have to clean up for him. He loved the girl who was looking in the mirror on her birthday, who was making horrible decisions and treating people terribly and just flirting with death and not worshiping him. He loved her so much he sent his son, and Jesus loved me so much that he died for me
Mhm.
while I was yet a sinner. And there was nothing I could do or needed to do to be made right with him except to just receive Jesus. And I finally understood the cross. I finally understood why Jesus was a big deal. I
Mhm.
knew all the Old Testament stories. I knew so much information about the Bible and theology growing up in a Christian high school and the church, but I did not get the importance of the cross. I did not get the importance of Christ until that moment. It just, light bulb came on. And that was it. That was
So would
totally
you say
different.
that's when you got saved or
I
that's
think it's really hard to say. I don't know
yeah.
because I know I talked to God a lot before then. I know he was working in my life since I was a kid. Was that the moment of true salvation? It's the moment I was changed. I mean, I got up off the floor a total freak, or as Ian just said, a degenerate for Christ now. But I was a total Jesus freak, and I just went out and told everybody, all of my drug friends.
Mhm.
I actually quit doing drugs, but I started drinking. Didn't really drink before then, but I thought drinking was okay. So I'd go out and get drunk with my friends and talk about Jesus for hours. I
Oh,
don't recommend that,
that's
and
crazy.
I don't do it anymore, but
Yeah.
I'm since sober, but,
Yeah.
I just was on fire for him instantly, and,
Wow.
yeah, that moment changed everything. I just wanted to live for him. I can't explain it other than the Holy Spirit opened my eyes to the truth. So,
Wow. I love the instant transformation
yeah,
stories.
exciting.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all stories are cool and
Yes.
all testimonies from everybody has
There's no boring testimony.
right.
It's always a miraculous work of the Holy Spirit for someone to be changed,
Mhm.
even if it's from a time where, like, I tell my kids all the time, Emma heard my story for the first time right before we went to Thailand because I shared it to the group before we went on the trip. That's something we were working on, like sharing our testimonies.
Yeah.
And she heard the whole thing for the first time and she was like, "That is awesome. Like, your
Aw.
story is so awesome." I was like, "Yeah, but you don't need a story like that. Like,
Yeah.
you need a story like my
Mhm.
friend Mandy, who from little tiny girl, she just loved Jesus and grew
Mhm.
up loving Jesus." And
Yeah.
that's your testimony, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's very similar
Yeah.
to something like that growing up in the church and getting saved fairly young.
Mhm.
But I mean, you hear people talk about how they wish they had the cool
Mm-mm. No, you
testimonies,
don't.
but then you hear people who have the cool testimony say you don't
You don't.
wish you had a cool
Not worth
testimony.
it.
You wish you had what people consider
Mhm.
boring as a
Yeah,
testimony, which they're not boring.
it's not.
You
It's
just
a beautiful story, and it's imagine all the things God has saved you from,
exactly.
because
That's mhm.
experiencing those things, I mean, I know God is using all of it So would I go back and change it? That's a dumb question anyways, because you can't, but
Right.
and obviously, like, he was sovereign in it and he's using it, but I definitely wouldn't wanna experience it again
Mhm.
or anything close to it because it
Yeah.
was words don't describe the pain it brought and the years of hard work to heal from it
Mhm.
and to stay away from substances, and it's just not fun,
Yeah.
but God redeems it all, and that's awesome. He doesn't waste any of it,
Mhm.
any of my bad choices, so that's cool.
So, how'd you meet Aaron?
Aaron and I met in college, and then he dropped out,
Okay.
but we stayed friends for a couple years, and then he was joining around the time I got saved, he was joining the military and the Army, and we really enjoyed talking to each I mean, we were friends all through college, long distance. He was living on the other side of the state. Um, so when he joined the Army, it was pretty much like, "Are we gonna do this or not? Because you're
Mhm.
leaving, so we're either gonna get together now or never." And we knew right away when we met up, it was like, I just he was it. Like, I knew
Yeah.
it. Like, I just love that man so much. He's the funniest, most good looking, he's gonna hate this, man that I've ever met. And so he so we long distance dated when he joined the military, and it was pretty quick. We got married within that first year of dating.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as I graduated, actually, we got married during my senior year of college.
Okay.
December 29th is my anniversary. So we got married right in between Christmas and New Year's,
Right
which was
before?
wild.
Mhm.
And then he left and went back. He was stationed in California, and I went back to school to finish my senior year. I had to do my student teaching.
How long was he gone?
I joined him once I graduated. So
Oh, okay.
I ended up
Right.
moving out to California that May. So we were married and apart for like January, February, March, April, May, 4 or 5
Oof,
months. Yeah, and, like,
that
saw him on
sucks.
spring break and stuff.
Yeah.
And, then I moved out there, and we lived there for a couple years together, and then he got out because we got pregnant with Emma, um, near the end of our first year of marriage, and which I was actually in grad school. That's a whole 'nother story. I was going to grad school in California.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't finish.
what were you going for?
English.
Okay.
Yeah. My idea back then was I was gonna teach and I was going to get my doctorates. I really wanted to teach college.
Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
that was the plan, but it quickly changed, when I got pregnant with Emma, which was an accident. But they, misdiagnosed Emma in utero several
Mm.
times,
Ugh.
but they told me she would likely from the anatomy scan, she had high markers of Down syndrome. They didn't think she was growing, so they
Mhm.
thought we might have to deliver her early. She was gonna need immediate surgery to correct her intestines and other things, all this stuff. So I was driving 2 hours into LA to grad school one way for my
Mm.
classes, and then driving 2 hours back. Got pregnant with her,
Oof.
and I was like I was gonna have her, and my teachers were awesome. They were like, "You can just bring your baby and
Mm.
keep doing school," and I was like, "Not if she's gonna have all these medical issues," and I was
Yeah.
terrified. I never held a newborn before Emma.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
even know if I wanted kids when I
Wow.
found out I was pregnant, and, so I dropped out, and the amazing thing is I had that little girl, and she was totally fine,
Mhm.
100% healthy. She had a little ovarian cyst that eventually went away, but that was
But other
pretty
than that,
intense.
yeah. So, whenever you were getting closer to her due date, were they still saying
They were
that
still
she
yeah,
has all these problems?
yes, they induced me because the plan was to be at a hospital that had the right pediatric surgeons so they could take her right out of the room, and they did take her, um, because they were expecting to go straight into surgery,
Mhm.
but they checked her out, and it was all good.
Wow.
So, pretty intense, but she totally changed my life, like, I my goals totally shifted once we had her. Aaron wanted to get out of the military so we could settle down near family, and then we had 2 more kids pretty quickly when we moved to Indiana, PA, and yeah, I love it. I love them. They're amazing. So
So, I recently got married,
yeah.
and I would love to hear how Aaron propose to you?
How he
Because I love hearing
proposed.
proposal stories because I think they're
Okay.
so fun.
So, man, this is tough. All right. I am a very, very transparent person. It's really I just naturally, I'm gonna tell you how I'm the type of person, like, you ask me how I'm doing, and I'm not doing well, so I'm gonna tell you I'm not doing well, and I'm gonna tell you why, and then you're gonna go like, "Man, I really wish I didn't ask, like,
No,
why?" Why?
no, I
Just
think that's a good
but
thing
it's,
because
like, it's genuine to a fault, like, I'm just gonna so, this is gonna be, like, big news, because I'm just gonna tell you the truth. So, so Aaron had a plan to propose to me at my parents' house on Thanksgiving break. We got married in December, so we were already talking about our wedding
right.
before I even got an official proposal or ring or anything.
Yeah.
And so over the phone the one day, he was going to come to my parents' house, surprise me in November,
Aw.
and propose. And probably like a month before that, we were on the phone and I was freaking out like, oh, we're long distance and I don't even have a ring yet and blah, 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 blah. And I was just getting like really worked up.
Mhm.
And he was like, would you calm down? I'm coming to propose to you at Thanksgiving. And I was like, you are? so, so we kept it a surprise for my parents.
Ah!
so they don't know that part of the story.
Oh my gosh.
So he came and he
Aw.
he came in and at the Thanksgiving table, he proposed.
Aw.
It was a surprise.
Wait, so were you bummed or kind of, like,
No,
relieved that
I
you
was
knew?
excited.
Okay.
We are terrible with surprises, him and
Okay.
I. We buy each other gifts for, like, Christmas or birthdays, and we'll just like, "Hey, do you want your gift now? Because I can't wait 2 more weeks to give it to
Oh my
you."
gosh. I am so not
We're
that
the worst.
person.
We're the
I
worst.
love surprises, so
Yeah,
I know people that are like that, and they're like, "Hey, I have your present. Can I
yeah.
just give it to you now?"
You
And
just
I'm
want
like,
it.
"No,
No, my
let's
mom
just
is like
wait.
that. My
I don't
mom
wanna
that's why
know."
we kept the surprise for my mom because she is, like, the
Yeah,
surprise queen. Everything's a surprise.
I love
And that was
surprises.
fun growing up. I mean, that was a lot of fun, but I'm terrible at it myself.
Mm. I
So,
love surprising other people, and I
yeah,
also love being surprised.
yeah. I love that.
So I think it was one of the most fun and exciting things. I don't know how it
So
was
were
for you,
you
getting to
super
tell people
surprised?
whenever I did get engaged that I love telling them.
Were you surprised? Did he surprise you? Or did you know it
Yeah.
was coming? Because
Well,
I
I
totally
it
100% knew.
was both. Um, so I won't get into the whole story, but basically we were long distance. Like he lived states away and then he moved
Yeah.
here at the end of September.
Mhm.
Um, and it was November 9th. It was a Saturday. Um, and it was weird because I remember earlier in the week he was like, "Hey, like let's do like a lunch picnic thing." I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." But in my brain I was like,
Huh.
I was like, "We've never done that
A
before. That sounds a
picnic.
little bit suspicious." But okay. Cuz I
A
don't like
picnic?
yeah,
In
picnic.
November.
It wasn't cold.
Okay.
It was
I mean, you never know here, so just curious.
yeah, I mean it wasn't really cold. Um but yeah, I I had a suspicion, but I don't like to get too, like, excited about something in case I get
Mm,
let down. So in
yeah.
case, like, he wasn't proposing, I didn't want to, like, plan everything
Mhm.
as if he was and get super excited and then be, like, sad if he
Disappointed. Yeah.
didn't. So, one of the things that I did, was the night before I painted my nails.
Yeah.
But
You totally knew.
I didn't want him to think I thought he was gonna propose because, 1, I didn't want to ruin the surprise for
Yeah.
him, but I also didn't want him to be like, "Crap, she thinks I'm gonna propose," and I'm not.
Yeah.
So I was like, "So my nails can't match what I'm wearing."
Oh my god.
So
You thought this through.
yeah, I know I did. And so I had a pink sweater and I painted my nails green, like,
Funny.
literally, like, sage green, like, half of, like,
So,
this
like,
set.
I care, but I don't care too much.
Right, right. Um Yeah, and so I did that, and actually even, like, I think it was 2 days before, I, like, took a video while I was, like I think I was in the car, and I just videoed, and I was like, "I think I'm gonna get proposed to, but I don't
That's
know.
awesome.
Maybe, maybe not." Because 'cause I've seen other people make videos like that, and I think it's so cool.
That is cool.
Or they're like, "How many sets of nails until, I get proposed to?" And it's, like, 1 set of nails, and then
Yeah.
it's like, "What?"
Yeah.
But anyways, so Saturday came. Um, and at the time, I was living with my now sister-in-law,
Yeah,
but his sister. We were living in an apartment in Ford
Lydia.
City, Lydia. Um, and he came over and we packed stuff up and we went. And I didn't know where we were going, um, which also is not normal whenever we do stuff.
Yeah.
Normally, I know, but I just kind of like let it
Mhm.
happen. And so we were driving and it started out seeming like we were going towards my parents' house because it was like the same route. Um, I don't know if you've ever been to Cadogan before.
I
If
don't know if I've
not,
been there either.
you know where the villa is.
No.
Okay. Well, a bunch of people watching probably
Cadogan. Cadogan's so familiar.
might
It
know.
sounds
It's
so
it's
familiar.
like they're like neighbors with Fort City.
Okay.
But anyways, it's pretty close to the villa. There's this little pavilion. Um, and we normally would take a right. So on this road, there's a we would normally take a right to go to my parents' house. Um, and then there was a pavilion and like a parking lot, a super small little pavilion
Mhm.
on the left. And so I assumed we're going right,
Yeah.
but he turned left.
And then you knew.
And then I knew well, I also knew because Lily, she's my best friend and she's also a photographer, um, was there.
That gave it
And
away.
I was like, "Oh my
This is
gosh,"
happening. Yeah.
because we had talked about getting engaged and wedding stuff beforehand, um, and so, like, he kind of knew that I wanted, like, somebody to be there to take pictures because I love proposal
Mhm.
pictures, I think they're the greatest,
Yeah.
and she was there, and as soon as we pulled in and I saw her, because there wasn't really any place for her to, like, hide,
Yeah.
so she was just there, and I looked over him, I was like, "Oh my gosh." I was like, "You're not doing this right." I was like, "What?" I was, like, freaking out, but, like, I was excited, I wasn't, like,
Yeah.
freaking out like, "No,"
No, in
but
the
I was
best
like,
way.
"Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like, this is actually happening," and so it was just, like I basically was just, like, freaking out the whole time. We walked over to the pavilion, and then
The pictures were really
he
cute.
got down on one knee, and yeah, they're all on my Facebook, so if you
Mhm.
know me,
Adorable.
you can or
So
have already seen the
how long has
pictures,
it
but
been now since your wedding? How long have you been married?
since April
Okay.
5th,
That's right.
so what is that? April, May,
4
June,
months.
July.
Man, it's fresh.
4 months.
They say the first year is the
Yeah,
hardest.
that's what I've
Wasn't
heard.
true for us, but
Yeah.
could be.
Um, yeah, so we got engaged November 9th, which it was so funny. Um, it was in, like, the morning, it was, like, 11 o'clock or something, and I had a baby shower to go to that day,
Mm.
at, like, 2 or something. Um, and I took my ring off because I was like, "I don't want people at the baby shower. I didn't want the
Yeah, the
attention of the
attention to be
baby shower
diverted.
to be
Yeah.
put on me
As we
because
think
it's"
about that as women.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but
You're probably so excited though,
the
want to tell
I know,
everybody.
I
Yeah.
did.
Hey,
I
don't
did.
react. Don't overreact right
Don't
now, but
overreact, but
just so you know.
yeah, I swear that day though, I said, "Oh my gosh," like
1,000
100 times. You
times.
can ask
Yeah.
anybody. It was true. I was just
That's
like
so
I would
cute.
look down at my hand and be like, "Oh my
Oh my
gosh."
gosh.
Like
Yeah.
this is crazy.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was so much fun. And then it was really cool cuz it was a Saturday and so I got to see everybody the next day
Yeah.
at church. And so it was I tell people it is so much fun getting to share
Oh
your
yeah.
engagement with other people. And so I would definitely say if you get proposed to, I would definitely say to wait to tell people in person if you can. I mean, I get it if you
Yeah.
live really far away, but if you can wait like a day or two,
It
like
is
getting
fun.
people's like real in-person
Mhm.
reactions is just so
Yeah.
much fun. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I love hearing when other people
Same for when
get
you have
engaged or
babies
get
too.
pregnant.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's so much fun to get to tell people in
Meaningful to say it
person.
in person for sure.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. I
I
agree.
love it.
So okay. So, little side
I love it.
trail right there, but, um, okay, so what about now? Now you're married, you have 3
Man.
kids, where's you
Now,
attend Harvest, of
my
course,
10 harvest. We've been here as a married couple probably for 8 or 9 years now.
like attending Harvest for 8 or 9 years, you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Okay.
attending harvest for 8 or 9 years. Um, right now, we just got a little foster girl.
Mhm.
And that's what is new in the
Aw,
Brooks home. And so this is our first placement.
she's super cute, you
She
guys.
is adorable, just
She's
absolutely
so sweet.
adorable
Yeah.
and the sweetest. She, will be 4 by the time this releases, she'll be 4. Um, Definitely not ready to, like, articulate what it's like to foster or go into the details of that because 'cause we're still processing. She's been with us for about a month. Um, but I would like to share, if it's okay, just something that God is teaching me in it.
Yeah, please.
So, first, I will say, please, please, nobody out there, ask me the details of her story. I'm just not at liberty to share, and it's really hard for me to not tell people when they ask me questions. Like I just want to be so transparent, but I don't want to share her story. You know, before she's ready to share her story and just the details of her situation. But you can ask how we're doing, and my family is doing. I mean, my kids. I'm so impressed by them. They have just they are solid little people, and just loving her so well, and especially little Jack, he's a big brother right now, and
Mhm.
that's kind of fun to see. And Aaron is just he's my rock. He is the best dad. I hate to say that because I don't want to throw all the other dads under the bus, but I mean he's just the bond that he has with her and all of our kids is just so cool to see. Um, and he's just like my stable rock when I'm like freaking out. He's like, "It's fine, it's fine. Just throwing a fit in public, we're good. Like it doesn't matter."
Aw.
Um, so my family has been rocking it, literally doing so well. And our little foster daughter is adjusting very well too. I'm gonna try not to say her name, but we'll have to beep it out if I do. But yeah, something the Lord has been teaching me. So when I first got saved, um, Galatians 2:20 was a verse that really stuck out to me, and I loved it. And I kind of turned it into my daily prayer that I still try and do. Like I still try and pray it daily. And that is, I've been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. So, the context of this verse in Galatians is Paul's correcting the church. They're kind of getting away from like the gospel of Jesus Christ and they are acting like you're justified by the law. And so he's saying, no, you are absolutely cannot be justified by the law. The law is there to show you you can't act right, which has always been pretty obvious to me. You don't have to convince me that I suck as a person. I know that pretty well. But I don't know why sometimes we get in our heads that we bring good to the table. It's all because of what Jesus did for us that justifies us. So,
Mhm.
love that verse. And so he gets to this point in the text where he's emphasizing the great exchange that happened on the cross, right? Like, I have been crucified with Christ. I died with Jesus on the cross in a sense. In Romans 6, he talks about being unified with Christ in the resurrection. You first must be unified with Christ in his death. So that's the first step when you come to Christ is I'm dying to self now. My old self is nailed to the cross with Christ. The life I now live, it's Christ's life in me. I exchanged my old life for Christ's new life, for eternal life, for a better life. And the implication of that is, well, first I'll say too, when he goes on to say the life I now live in the flesh, he doesn't mean flesh as in my old nature, my old sinful nature. He means just like physical, actual body. So like the life I'm now living in my flesh, I live by faith. So it's not about doing the right thing every day or make sure you're maintaining your sanctification journey on your own. Like it's just waking up and trusting Jesus. So it's the implication is every day I wake up and I die to myself and I trust Jesus with today and I allow him to do his will in my life and I turn my eyes towards him and off myself and I try and just pray this text in the morning. Um but the implications is that every breath I breathe, every moment of time that I experience and every possession that I have belongs to Christ now. It's not mine. I mean, it always was his,
Mhm.
but now I'm recognizing that. Like, I recognize that I'm dead and my life belongs to him. Like, it's his life in me now, not my own. And so I'm literally surrendering all to him. And then as I was thinking about this text, I am currently reading The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Have you ever read it?
Yes.
Oh,
Mhm.
you have.
Yeah.
Okay.
A
Has it been
while
a
ago,
while?
I had to read it for school, I think in,
Okay.
like, 10th grade.
Okay, cool. Did it make an impression on you? Do you remember it at all?
I remember it was very interesting. It's not what
Yeah.
I thought it was because
Very
I think I
insightful.
had heard about it before, but
Okay.
it was very interesting.
So,
I
Screw
liked
Tape
it.
Letters by C.S. Lewis, if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Um, it's an epistolary novel, so it's a compilation of letters. And it's not letters back and forth, it's just letters from Screw Tape. He's the senior demon, and he's writing letters to his nephew Wormwood, who is a junior tempter. And Wormwood is assigned a patient. They refer to him as the patient. He's a human. And his job is to secure this patient's eternity in hell and make sure he doesn't go to heaven. And so Screwtape is like his senior advisor is advising him on how to do that with this human. It's a little dark,
Mhm.
extremely insightful. But I was reading this one chapter that had to do with Screwtape telling Wormwood to convince his patient to believe the lie that my time is my own. Get him to
Mm.
believe that, and then he'll be irritated when it's interrupted. Um, and he goes on to say something that's true. It's very simple, but very profound. He says, man can neither make nor retain one moment of time. It all comes to him by pure gift. And then he goes on to say he might as well regard the sun and moon as his chattels or as his possessions. Like, it's just so ridiculous to think that you own the time that you've been given. It's all a gift of God. And we can say the same thing about the air we're breathing and the homes that we have and the clothes that we wear. And the connection I'm making from Galatians to Screw Tape to fostering is this is also true about my children, right? Like, my kids are not my own. When I
Mm.
came to Christ, I surrendered everything. I recognize that these are the most precious, the most valuable of gifts, but they belong to Jesus and he is in control and I am not. And that's actually a really good thing because it would not be a good thing if I was in control.
Mhm.
But I've really learned this with our foster daughter because biologically she's not mine, legally she's not mine, and it would not be abnormal for someone to call me even right now and say, "Hey, can you pack up her things? We're coming to pick her up. We found kinship or she's going back home or whatever." That would not be abnormal. Like, that's a normal situation.
Right.
And yet at the same time, we're pouring, day after day into her and building a relationship with her and providing her a nurturing, loving, safe home to grow in just for as long as she needs for an unspecified amount of time. Though it is specified, I just don't know it. God knows it though. Like, he's sovereign over it. But I don't know what's gonna happen to her.
Mhm.
I don't have control. And at first I was very anxious about this. And I was just like, oh, what if they call me today? What if they and I was just like realized I can't go on living like this. I have to surrender her to the Lord.
Mhm.
And something that really helped me to do that was to think about how he was with her when we were just starting the foster process and getting certified and taking all of the classes that we took and doing all of the things. We didn't know her name. We didn't know where she was. We didn't know anything about her. But God did. He was with her. He saw her. He knew her. He was caring for her. He was protecting her. And he brought her to us at just the right time. And so wherever she goes from here, he goes with her. He'll protect her. He cares for her.
Mhm.
And I don't need to be in control. I just need to be obedient and love her today. And then I realized, of course, this this applies to my own biological children as well. It feels like I have more of a say and more control. But Pastor Joe always likes to say, um, you can't take too much credit for their good, and you can't take too much blame for their bad, because we do the best we can, and we love them, and we fail, and God's grace is sufficient. But they belong to Him, and whatever He sees fit to happen will happen. And I'm gonna trust Him
Mhm.
with that. And it's hard. It's hard, especially, a lot of people have been asking me, "Well, what happens when she does go back? What are you gonna do? How's your family gonna, how are you gonna be okay? Are your kids gonna be okay?" And I get the question, but it's like the Bible has an answer for that, and we're gonna just do what the Bible says. And Psalm 34 is a really good psalm. Everybody should go read it today. But it begins by saying, I can't remember now. I will bless the Lord at all times. All times. His praise will continually be in my mouth in every season, no matter what happens. When the unthinkable with my children happens, or my home, or my job, or my husband, whatever it is, whatever happens, I'm going to bless the Lord. I'm going to choose to trust Him. I'm going to choose
Mm.
to lay down myself. Remember, I surrendered everything.
Mhm.
It's His will, it's His way, and He knows best. And so I'm just going to bless Him and trust Him. And this plays out in Job. The unthinkable did happen to Job with his children.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a nice light topic for our first episode, by the way. The unthinkable did happen. And what did he do? He said, "The Lord has given and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." And I think that was, he wasn't staying it in my mind stoically and, oh, I'm, untouched by this. I can't imagine the emotion he was experiencing in that moment,
Oh, yeah.
but he chose to put his faith in God. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to choose to trust him each and every day and remember that, like, our time is a gift, our families are a gift, and ultimately they don't go, they don't take the place of him. He is first and foremost, and I'm going to choose to trust him. And so that's my encouragement is your life is not your own. Whatever he's blessed you with, hold it with open hands and just trust him with it because
Mhm.
he's so much better him being in control than me.
Yeah.
I would have probably wanted to say yes to the first phone call we got, and I would have missed this opportunity with this little. I can't see the big picture,
Mhm.
but he does. He knows exactly what he's doing, and none of it is a mistake or out of his control. And that's so. He has filled me in the past week or two with such a deep peace that I can trust him with this, and it's gonna be okay, no matter what,
Yeah.
no matter how much it hurts, how joyful it is. He's good.
I feel like that's just an overarching, like, true statement for all areas of life, but and you can apply it even deeper for different areas, like you said, with your kids. You can talk about it, like, with money and
Mm-hmm.
just material things, but just really just understanding that everything that we have, everything that we are, the good parts about us, like, everything is God's. It's
Absolutely.
not ours, and it's his decision what he wants to do with it.
And
And
he's
we're just,
good.
yeah.
He's
Mhm.
good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even if we don't see what's good about it today.
Or ever.
Yeah,
Sometimes
on this earth, we
we'll
won't know.
never know.
But we do know that he works all things together for the good of those who love him. And
And that's my favorite Bible verse
I
for
love
that
it,
reason.
man. You can weather any storm remembering that. It's
Yeah,
like
I
he's
do.
not gone. He's here and he's using it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that like your life verse? Do you have a
Yeah.
life verse?
Yeah, Romans 8:28.
It's 8:28.
Yeah. Yeah, and we know that God causes all things to work together for
That is
good.
the okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for those who love God, those who are called according to
It's
his
just
purpose.
it's just so like just settles your soul. All right.
Yeah, cuz I feel like so much of this life gets so crazy
We we
or
we
it's
live in
just
like a we live in a culture where we plan a lot.
oh
Like,
yeah.
everybody has their meals planned for the next couple weeks, and so you have your shopping cart and you know
Mhm.
exactly what you're making and,
You know
you
what you're
know
doing
what you're doing
tomorrow.
months out. Yeah, like, you have parties planned, and we're just so blessed that we don't have to live day to day. Where's our manna in the wilderness today? We have abundance, which is amazing, and we should just praise and thank God for it
Mhm.
all the more. But it's uncomfortable when things are then
Yeah,
out of
I
our
think
control, and it's like, "Wait a minute, I don't have control, actually? I
yeah.
thought I did." We have this, like, illusion of it, very heavy
Mhm.
illusion of it, and really we don't, and he does, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
so trustworthy with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just how the world is with, like you said, with planning everything out, I think just really takes away the realization that we are not in control.
Mhm,
I think it gives us a false representation, a
mhm.
false idea that we think we're in control and that we can
We think we
control
know what's going
everything
on.
about our lives down to every
Yeah,
little detail.
yep,
Um, and we think we can,
mhm,
but we really can't.
right. At seasons like this, I appreciate the hard times because that's when you remember
Right.
those hard truths, but they're good, like, they're
Hmm.
really good to remember.
Yeah.
I wanna live in the illusion. I want to be reminded that I'm dependent on him for all things.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my Tina talk for today.
Yeah.
That's
T
it.
T T
That's what I
Tina
got.
talk for today.
Tina talk
Talking
for
with
today.
Tina. Tina
Our
Talks podcast.
our testimony and our teaching time. Our time of testimony and teaching with
With
Tina
Tina.
talking.
I love it. Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, so stay tuned for next time. I think
Yeah.
you guys are really going to enjoy this because it's not going to be Tina talking every time.
Right.
I will be, but we're gonna hear the whole goal is to invite women from the church and hear from them and their stories and be encouraged by their testimonies, and so I think it'll be really exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So,
It'll
all
be fun.
right,
But okay.
that's it. How do we end this thing?
However you want to do it.
Stay tuned for the next episode. All right, we're
Bye.
done.